I'm going to come in right after the solo. I guess I'm letting the song play out. And cut and fade and scene. What's up, guys? Come here. Hey. Hello. Good of you to be here. Welcome to the Billness Show. Welcome. Thanks for being here. All right. Guys, there's a lot going on. Did you read the headline? Tell me what the headline said. Something about Brett Kavanaugh, right? Yep. Okay. Moving forward. Good to see you. Lisa R. Hall. Wow. Haven't seen you in a while. Alpha Faith. Yeah. Hey, man. Is Alpha Faith. Alpha. Oh. Hello, Alpha Faith. Pastor. Good of you to show. Man. Thank you. We'll hang out for a little bit, Alpha Faith. Pastor Wade Hurt. Welcome. Thank you for coming to the live show. Totally unscripted. Totally wanted to jump in. I will do my best, my very best, to be on my best behavior. I should be on my best behavior, but sometimes I just can't help myself. But tonight I will be. I'm frustrated. I am frustrated, guys. That's a good word. I am frustrated. But before I go into why, man, I'm seeing some of you guys. A farm girl. Wow. Hey, good of you to show. Lisa R. Hall. Haven't seen you in a bit. And then I see those that have been here. Headless. Great of you. Great of you to be here. Again, Headless. Thank you. Thank you so much. Don't go to bed quite yet. If you're so inclined, Pastor, we're going to have a show, at least for a few minutes. We're going to jump in. Wow. Chris Kuhn is always first. Chris Kuhn is always on point. I love it. I swear I love it. All right. So let's just jump right into the topic. I don't think I will go super late with this, except every time I say that, I go like 45 minutes to an hour. I'm not going to do that. But what happened is I've been watching a lot of the news, okay, against my will, but I've been watching it, and it's been tough. It's been hard watching them. Now, I want to clarify something, okay? I don't take someone like Brett Kavanaugh and I don't put him on a pedestal. I don't. Just because he's a man. Now, the accusations that are coming out against Mr. Judge Brett Kavanaugh are serious allegations. They are. Okay. I know you guys have heard this. You've been listening to the news. You've been watching the news or watching it online and that kind of thing. But I've got an issue with how it's all played out. I have a major issue with how this information has been withheld. And if you have followed me, which most of you have, and you have watched the direction of the Great Awakening with Q, it almost feels like we've been prepared to understand that this was going to happen to Judge Brett Kavanaugh. All right. Now, I want to invite you for a second to clear your minds. I just everybody clear your minds of all of your biases and everything that you feel inside of you. And I want you to just go back for a moment to when you were anywhere between the age of 15 and 17. Now, I can do this easily, okay? But I don't know if you can. But what I will say, go back to the reality of your life when you were 15 to 17-year-old. For women, it's much different, I'm sure. than it was for men, other than the fact that tap into the emotions that were going on inside of you in those days. How fair, forget Kavanaugh for a minute, how fair would it be for you today, right now, to be judged in any capacity, whether good or bad? How bad would it be for you to be judged on how you were at that moment in your life? All right. Now, just shelf that. Take it, stick it right up here on the shelf. Guys, I go back to when I was 15 to 17. Uh Listen, I I was a really, 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 really good guy. But was I a saint? No. And I don't mean that from the standpoint of did I screw around? Yeah. Did I drink? Yeah. Did I do drugs? No, I didn't. Not then. No. I smoked a little bit of pot in my early 20s. But through high school, I was basically a good guy. Had I been given the opportunity to ever take advantage of a woman, this is me. And mind you, I don't have a lifelong, college career or being a judge or any of this or any of that. But had I had an opportunity to, you know, be with a woman that was unconscious or something like that, never. And I'm the type of guy that would have beat the hell out of anybody that ever thought about being in a room with an unconscious woman had I known. All right. So, that being said, that's my morals. I am imperfect in every way, but we all, most of us, have our lines in the sand that we would draw. That would be my line, especially I have 3 daughters. I mean, there are things that are called morals. Now, you take somebody of Brett Kavanaugh's stature, you take what he's done in his life to get where he's gotten. The mere fact that he's made it to where he has, there's no way, shape, or form that this would not be common knowledge if he was this guy, this animal that they are putting out there. And all I'm doing is reaffirming that let the evidence do the talking. If you don't see what's going on, research it. But are there people out there that do this to women? I mean, guys, I'm sorry. I mean, mostly it is guys that do this. I've never woke up in a drunken stupor and had a woman, um, you know, whatever. Okay. Just not going to go there. But I mean, so let's just say that for the most part, it would be men that would do this type of thing. There's no way that this would not be common knowledge that this was a guy that took advantage of women in that capacity. If you don't see what's going on, if you're not seeing the setup and what it means to the destruction of the deep state. I mean, I watched an interview with him earlier with him and his wife. And that's another thing. His wife is on his side. And I'm not talking about on his side how Hillary was on Bill's side. That was all purely political motivated. You could see it. The two-facedness, not a word, I know, but just have to put it that way, of what we witness and what we see of when you get what I'm saying, when it goes in their favor, and this just so happens to be on the Democratic side, that Hillary killed not literally, but, you know, in the news, killed these women that came out against her husband. And now the tables are turned and they're killing Judge Brett Kavanaugh. You can see it in the interview. It's killing his wife. She knows that this man that she married isn't this monster. But let's for a second again revisit how we were when we were in high school. Honestly, if what we did in our youth followed us around the rest of our lives, none of us would even be remotely close to where we are now. I choose to believe that most people are good. I do. But there are animals. There are people that make humongous, bad, poor decisions. And they probably turn out to actually be good people. Alcohol, I won't say it gets a bad rap because it really comes down to how you react on it. But, when you choose to take a drink and put yourself in a situation, there's consequences that evidently come with it. I don't think Kavanaugh is one of those people. Now, most of the people in this world are. But when you set your goal to be number one in your class and you try to become the listen, I remember the valedictorian of my high school class, my senior year, 1990. He happened to be the keyboard player of my band when I was in high school. He just was. But that was his piece of being hip. All right. He became the valedictorian, but he got to be the keyboard player in my band. And you just don't see that type of instinct. You don't see that type of behavior out of somebody that is so goal oriented. I mean, if there's one thing that this guy would have let go out of his life, it would have been the band. All right. Had we acted in that way, we didn't. We weren't that type of band. We were a rock band, but the valedictorian played the keyboard in our band. It is what it is. Now you take the stigmatism of rock band and put it into the valedictorian's life. If he thought it would have affected him in any way, shape, or form, let me just go forward and say that the guy that I'm talking about is a pastor today. He is a pastor. And again, I'll use the word stigmatism because there are those that use those positions of authority to not always make the right decisions. All right. And my father, being a police officer my whole life, always told me that he didn't condemn those in positions of authority, but he said you have to watch out because there are predators that will seek those types of positions. The stories that I could tell you that he witnessed of people in positions of authority go on and on and on. But that's irrelevant because this is all being laid out in front of us, that this has happened on a political grand scheme. Brett Kavanaugh is not one of these people. He has not used this. So what I'm saying is that, do I have evidence of what I'm passionately talking about? No, I don't. I have my senses, just like any of you. Listen, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We do. But if you don't accept what you're watching right now between the Democrats and the Republicans in the confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh is nothing more than a show. I mean, it's hideously sick. I watched the interview with him and his wife. His wife is very guarded in her answers, but she knows that this isn't the man she married. They cannot find corroborating witnesses that even remotely think about testifying against a man of this. Listen, they're not everywhere. They're few and far between. That's why he is being put up for the Supreme Court. There's 9 people in this country at any given time that can be brought into the highest court of the United States of America. He has been through 6 FBI total background checks. What you are witnessing is a, dare I use it, witch hunt. They are petrified of putting Kavanaugh into office, and you know why. If you don't, I'm going to lay it out right now. They are petrified to put Kavanaugh into office because it will be, truthfully, the public beginning of the end. It's what's going to release the FISA documents. It's what's going to bring the entire house of cards down. So in some regards, you could look at this and say that the deep state and those who are speaking the loudest understand that Kavanaugh being confirmed means the end of it all. This is truly the linchpin in the takedown of the deep state. So, like Q says, enjoy the show. Get your popcorn. Q already knows this. They are 12 steps ahead of everything going on. So don't let it trouble you. Don't let it worry your heart. This is going on. If you don't see it for what it is right now, you're not going to see it. You have to look at everything involved in what's coming out. Farm Girl, I respectfully disagree with what you're saying. And I would invite you to look more into the details of the matter. You have to understand that this entire Inquisition is over. It's done. They've already done the entire investigation. These come in on the 11th hour. You have to look at who is releasing the information, who is putting out the accusations. This is fear in the highest form, attempting to stop Kavanaugh from being confirmed. Dr. Ford, a year and a half ago, put out tweets that said somebody needs to step up and accuse Justice Gorsuch of a rape allegation because he should not be confirmed. Listen, when you take all of the pieces of information and you put them in front of you, the information becomes too coincidental to be a coincidence. Those are not things that should be said. That was by the initial accuser, Ford, that said somebody needs to step up and put Gorsuch into a rape allegation. Listen, you don't have to believe me. Research it. It's out there. The information is out there. Should this information not be out there, I would agree with you wholeheartedly. But it's out there. Once you put it out on the web, once you put it out on the net, it doesn't matter if you delete it. It's there. It's 100% there. So while I agree that women, and being a father of 3 women, 3 girls, 18, 21, and 25, I believe that their voices should be heard. But when you start taking their witnesses, when you start taking this, and when enough things start happening that they're either dismissed or it's just not in line with the stature of the individual, you have to look at the big picture and say, why is everybody all of a sudden at the final hour throwing so much shit against this guy? This guy who has done so much. I'm not going to minimize this by saying that it happened in high school and early college. But again, I invite you, should this be even remotely close to true? Now, listen, I've never pulled out my ding-a-ling and shook it in a chick's face at a party. I never have. I just haven't. I'm just, I, I think, I think you have to be on a whole nother level to like do something like that. I mean, think about it as I say it. This supposedly happened at a party. The guy pulled out his junk and shook it in her face, and now all of a sudden they can't corroborate it and that kind of stuff. And then you got, did something happen to Dr. Ford? Maybe, possibly, yes, maybe. But you have to take all of you have to take all of the evidence, where they are, who they are. Why are only these allegations coming out from people that are deep within the Democratic Party? It's like you just have to use discernment. You have to look at it and step back. You have to step away from it and look at all the facts and say, why is this coming out? When it's coming out? Who's making the allegation? What is their affiliation? Why, when I'm a libertarian, by the way. I've told you this a million times. I'm not a Republican. I am a libertarian that happened to vote for Trump. So I am capable of being objective and stepping away and saying it. And I think when you just step away from it and you look at everything, you have to say something is not right here. And the something that is not right is not Brett Kavanaugh. This man has been put through the ringer. Think Clarence Thomas, except on a different level. Clarence Thomas, that whole thing turned out to be a cyber lynching, as he eloquently put out there. But look at everything he went through, all the questioning, all the I am Spartacus. This is my Spartacus moment. We have not gotten enough information. We have not had enough details released against Judge Kavanaugh, which all the papers that were released during his entire hearing were more papers than the entire amount of the last 6 justices that were ever put in front of the Supreme or in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Like more than the last 6. Now listen, they are petrified. They know this is the end game. When this man gets confirmed, it's over. It's done. So look at it from that standpoint, is that that's how they are fighting against this. They know it's done once he's confirmed. And that, my fellow truther, should be your victory call. You should know that that is the moment that you, in your heart and mind, know that we have finally won. I'm not saying that there's not horrible men out there that do absolutely fucking horrible shit to women. There are. And I'd be the first one to put a bullet in them. I have 3 daughters. This guy does not deserve what's going on. This is out of hand. It's time for you to find your voice and say, you know what? Let's take down the real bastards, the real people that are the animals. That's what time it is. It's not time to cave into these Democratic agendas. Not your Kamala Harris, not your Cory Booker. I can't think of the chick from Hawaii that said men just need to shut up. Not Christina Gillibrand, not Richard Blumenthal. God, that guy. Not Sheldon Whitehouse or White Snake. Yeah, I like that. White Snake, Sheldon White Snake. It's not his name, but it's time. It's time, you guys. It's time to shut your televisions off and start remembering your past. They are trying to incriminate this man from things that they are alleged that the witnesses can't even, not only can't even, but won't corroborate. They say not only can't, it's not a matter of I don't remember, it's a matter of no, no. I never saw that man. That's not how it happened. And mind you, there's one after another now coming out of the woodwork. That should set off warning bells in your mind of what's going on. It should. I don't know. I'm not the judge. I'm not the jury. I'm just a man sitting at his coffee table, actually, his kitchen dinner table, that takes in a lot of information. And I look at it and I weigh it and I listen to a lot of people and I respect every single one of you that are on here. And though I'm not really engaging in the chat, I've peeked a couple times and I'm telling you that the entire reason that you are witnessing what's going on right now is to put the entire Kavanaugh confirmation off until after the November elections for the House and the Senate. That is their entire goal, because if they can do that, then they will be able to focus on how they're going to stop the red wave, which is going to happen, mind you, providing this is handled the right way. They're going to stop the red wave and turn it into a blue wave. Because if they turn November elections into a blue wave to reclaim the majority in the House and the Senate, you can take everything that President Trump has done, all the jobs, everything else, and you can flush them. They're gone. They're done. He'll spend the last 2 years of his presidency fighting allegations of impeachment. That is entirely what this entire confirmation hearing is about. Because if Kavanaugh gets confirmed, which is everything we've been fighting for as far as truth, all we want is the truth to come out. We're not looking for an advantage. We're not looking to gain some ill-gotten advantage. It's about truth. Kavanaugh gets confirmed, the FISA court documents will be released. The FISA court documents will show the illegalities of how Robert Mueller was even put into a position to start even researching the Russian narrative. That's long been put to bed. There's no collusion. If there was collusion, I'm a libertarian. I would call out Trump. I would call it out, but I'm sorry. Everything points to the fact that this is a coup to throw out a duly elected president that actually won the presidential nomination and became president, and they can't handle it. Why can't they handle it? They never, ever in a million years expected Hillary Rotten Clinton to lose this election. And had she not lost, they would have covered up everything that we are learning about to be true. That's the reality. Reality is where I live. That's the domain I want to be in, is reality. And the reality is that they launched a coup to take him out of office. They've even launched attempts to take him out physically. These are the facts in the case of what's going on, and they are indisputable. For those with eyes to see and ears to hear and discernment within your heart, this is absolutely the facts. So I cannot be swayed when it comes to innuendos and claims that are just, these claims at this point are the deep state's last grasp. The rats are in a corner. They are going to throw anything and everything at them. Which brings me to, I guess, my last point that I'll bring up is that because they are backed into a corner, it means that they will stop at nothing to not let this happen. Well, guys, guess what? They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about me. And a last-ditch effort to not let any of this go down means that they will do anything possible. So keep your head on a swivel. I don't think anything's going to happen, but it doesn't mean that it won't. We don't know the power in which the deep state still has. We don't. It's funny. If I could have heard myself talking like this 2 years ago, I would have laughed at myself, but I'm sorry. I've come too far. I've listened to too much. I know too much truth, like so many of you. It's funny. This moment, these things that we talk about, this stuff will be wrote in the history books, the real history books, not the rewritten history books that we've all been led to believe and listen to. We're going to be the patriots in the actual history of America. And you should hang your head on that and say, hell yeah. That's right. I didn't buy into the MSM narrative. I didn't listen to it. I didn't go down the track. I didn't listen to what they had to say because I was awake. That's a pretty damn good feeling, even though it's been very hard to go through. But it's a damn good feeling, right? Right? It is for me. I'm sorry. I went off diarrhea of the mouth, Bill. I know. I'm sorry. But I just felt a need to get on here tonight and I guess maybe not tell you anything, but I felt a need that I had to get this out of me and what I feel is going on. So I had to do that. And I appreciate you hanging with me. I mean, guys, we're winning. And we are going to win in the end. Trust the plan. Where we go one, we go all. I believe in this great awakening. I believe in this plan. I know a lot of you do too. So be there to answer questions because as we go forward with the Kavanaugh hearing, as we go forward with the FISA court documents that get released, you're going to hear water cooler talk. You're going to hear Monday morning armchair quarterbacks talking about their position and what they feel, and Trump's this or this is that, or you can't trust Putin and you can't trust Xi, and not that like 93% of the people even know who Xi Jinping is, but you're going to be required to lend your voice in whatever capacity it is to let people know that patriots are in control and this is the take back of America and the world, and it's going to be given to the people. And I believe that. I believe that so much. It's what gives me hope. Again, there's too many coincidences to be coincidences. This is happening as surreal as you think it is. Brian Rosenberg. Hey, Brian. All right. I think I'm off my soapbox. I think I spit out what I had to say. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, I think so too, Brian. A lot of people, are going to be very confused. But look at it like that's your role, you know. Officer Brian Rosenberg reporting for duty. I know your head's blowing up with information, but let me be of service. Let me tell you about something called the Great Awakening. Let me tell you about Q. Let me tell you about what's been going on. Let me tell you why Trump is so loud and crazy. He's a bull in a china shop, and he's doing exactly what he was designed and recruited to do. President Trump reporting for duty, sir. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Civil unrest is going to be tough. That's going to be tough to watch. There's a lot of brainwashed people out there. It's going to be, but you all have been awake for a while. You've picked your moments when you can try to gently, lovingly correct people. I have. You can't go into it balls out and just lay everything that you know on people. That's, man, think about how long it took you to wake up. Think about how you got to this point in your life with your awakening. If somebody had laid everything on me of what I know now when I first awoke, damn. And then the things that were happening like simultaneously, like actually backed it up. I don't know. I don't know how that would have made me react. It's I would think denial is probably the key word. I think I would be in denial and then I would be depressed. And I think it's just our job to make ourselves aware that there's going to be people feeling this. So make yourself available to people in any way. It doesn't mean you have to tell them about what's going on. You just have to let them know that I I don't know how you have that discussion, but there's a lot going on in the world. If you ever have any questions, feel free to hit me up, whoever. There's people in your life you can't say that to because they look down on you, but that's okay. Those aren't people that you're meant to give your pearls to. Don't cast your pearls on swine. It's biblical. I'm sure I've heard it somewhere. But just be available to give people the truth. And if you do that, I listen, everything that's going on, this whole great awakening, this whole takeover, the whole destruction of the evil cabal, the whole deep state, everything going down, this is driven by the hand of God. It couldn't even succeed without the favor of the Lord being on it. So just know that the Lord is going to put people into your life at the right time when you're going to have the right answers. That I believe. And none of us are perfect. Nope. I've told you all before. I am so far from perfect. It's not even funny. I try to be good, and when I'm good, I count myself successful. And yeah, so there's that. I try to keep myself successful too. I try and I take vitamins, and sometimes I take the successful vitamins, and sometimes I take the non-successful vitamins. But I'm always taking vitamins, so it makes me loud. So there's that. All right. That's all I got. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm glad you guys showed up. It was wonderful. Uh, you know what? I needed this for me. Believe it or not, this had to come out of me tonight because I've been processing and letting it well up in me, and I've been frustrated. So there's that. Anyway. You like, so there's that, Lisa Hall. But I listen to Lisa Hall and I digress. I'm glad that makes you smile, though. That's awesome. Sweet. So I'll be on sooner than later. I appreciate y'all hanging with me. And yeah, I don't have much more to give. So there's that. But I digress. And hey, don't forget to pray. Don't forget to love each other. Pray. Be cool. Have a good mindset. Love those around you. Love yourself. Love the people in your life. Love it all. It's one life. We get to live it. Be cool. So thanks, KK. Thanks. Appreciate you being here all the time. Thanks, Brian. Lisa. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody. Thank you. Have a fantastic night. Don't forget to pray. God likes that. Anyway, I will see you all soon. God bless y'all. Bill Mish out.